6 early this Tuesday morning, the 11th of September, 2001.
From the heart of New York City, on Fifth Avenue at Trump Plaza, it's Bryant Gumbel and Jane Clayson. This is The Early Show on CBS.
And good morning. Welcome to The Early Show on this Tuesday morning here with Jane Clayson. I'm Bryant Gumbel.
Thanks.
Thank you.
7:06 now. Let's turn to the news desk now to check our other headlines with Julie Chen. Good morning.
Good morning, Jane. Good morning, everyone. Iraq shot down an unmanned U.S. reconnaissance aircraft this morning over the southern no-fly zone. It is the second such incident in 2 weeks. A California grand jury has dismissed an obstruction of justice claim against Congressman Gary Condit. Anne-Marie Smith filed the complaint. She says Condit wanted her to sign an affidavit denying they had an affair. Condit denies the charge. The grand jury said the complaint was filed in the wrong district. Smith plans to refile. Meanwhile, another sign that Condit may not seek re-election. A Condit ally, Assemblyman Dennis Cardoza, is reportedly planning to run for Condit's seat. Cardoza has said in the past he would not seek Condit's seat unless Condit stepped aside. Former presidential hopeful Elizabeth Dole is headed for the campaign trail again. Dole is expected to announce today at her home in Salisbury, North Carolina, that she's running for Jesse Helms' Senate seat. Dole switched her registration from Kansas to North Carolina after Helms announced he would not seek re-election. The National Academy of Sciences says 60 embryonic stem cell lines is not enough. Those are the only ones now eligible for federal research money under an order from President Bush. In a new report, the Academy says those cell lines may become useless over time, so more will be needed. And that's a look at the news this morning. Now here's Brian.
All right, Julie, thank you. Although the chairman of his Council of Economic Advisors has said there's no rush to immediately do something, President Bush is facing heavy pressure to do more for the struggling economy. Bill Plant is at the White House with a look at the president's day and his challenge. Bill, good morning.
Brian, good morning to you. That's right. The president is in Florida talking about education, not about the economy. But Republicans in Congress remain very concerned about the state of the sagging economy. The Senate Minority Leader yesterday pushed for a cut in the marginal tax rate for capital gains, in addition to what's already been done.
We had a good budget. The tax cuts and the interest rates cuts are going to have some effect. It's a question of will they have enough effect soon enough.
If they don't take effect quickly, Congress will have no choice but to spend money from the surplus, which the president has promised to dedicate to Social Security. That makes Republicans nervous.
The good news is this is not an election year.
Mr. Bush wants to wait a bit and see if the combination of his tax cut and the cuts in interest rates do succeed in spurring economic growth.
Probably what is called for right now is really watchful waiting. These medicines take time, and it would be a mistake to overreact to the current situation.
Watchful waiting is what it's all about, but the president's men keep saying that he's still open to other ideas. Brian?
Bill Plant, thank you. Donald Evans is the Secretary of Commerce. He's at the White House. Secretary Evans, good morning.
Morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. Looking to the economy, the president has vowed we're going to do something. Yet our Glenn Hubbard, the chair of his economic advisors, said there's no rush to do something. Which is it?
Well, I think Glenn Hubbard also said that the economy was moving along at an unacceptable pace, and I agree with Glenn on that. And then the president is very focused on economic growth. The president already has done something, but he will continue to look at this economy very, very closely. He is concerned about it. The unemployment number went from 4.2 to 4.9%. That's a confirmation of what he's known for quite some time, and this economy has been slowing down over the course of the last year or so. But he has taken the initiative. He did take the initiative on tax cuts, as you know, Brian. There's some unfinished business in Congress right now. The president has presented to Congress a national energy plan, which is very important to continuing to move this economy along. We need to bring energy prices down. That will help.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, but all that's down the road. Americans are hurting right now. They're looking to Washington for help. What's this president and this administration prepared to do for them?
Well, Bryant, tax rebate checks are going out right now. They've been going out for the last couple of months, and they're going to continue to go out now. I think that's, people have appreciated that. I know people have used that money to buy school clothes and school supplies. They'll continue to put that money into the economy. So there are things happening right now. But the other thing that's happened in the last 6 months the president needs, I'll go back to it, a national energy plan. We need to get that in place until we can bring energy prices down. Another thing we need to do right now, Brian, is we need to grant the president trade promotion authority. That gives him the authority to trade, to lead on free trade around the world. As I talk to American businesses all over this country, they tell me that what they need is to open up markets around the world for their future growth.
Let me talk to you about some immediate possibilities that are being discussed. Senate Minority Leader Lott, as you know, and others have talked of cutting the capital gains tax. That's something you're favoring? That's something you want to see happen?
Brian, the president is open-minded. He's got a great team of economic advisors. The president is an extraordinary good listener. He's also an extraordinary leader, and he will listen to these ideas. He'll continue to watch this economy very, very carefully. He's very concerned about what unemployment numbers have done recently.
Does he want to see a cut in the capital gains tax?
He's open-minded about it, Brian. He hadn't made a decision on that. He'll look at a whole host of recommendations.
Vice President Cheney is talking of tying that to a minimum wage hike in order to satisfy Democrats. That's something you could live with?
Brian, there's a whole variety of ideas that are being floated around and talked about and considered, and that's what he will do. His economic advisors will present to him thoughts and ideas and ways to take steps that might further stimulate economic growth, but he hasn't made a decision.
As you know, the director of OMB has written a letter to federal agency heads urging them to trim 5% from future spending. Are we going to have to look at spending cuts across the board?
Brian, it's very important that we spend within our means. The president consistently talks about fiscal discipline, spending within our means. If it takes a 5% cut to spend within our means, then we'll have a 5% cut.
Does spending within your means mean not touching that part of the surplus that has been designated for Social Security?
The president's been very clear on the Social Security surplus, Brian, and he has laid out the national priorities that need to be funded in this country. It does fit within his budget. He said he's not going to touch Social Security surplus, so he won't touch it.
Unemployment is up, corporation outlooks are down, consumer confidence is down. As you stand here today, you see any reason for optimism, Mr. Secretary?
Yeah, I do, because this president's an extraordinary leader that's very focused on this economy. I mean, he is going to take the steps. He's going to lead this economy back into a growth rate that's acceptable kind of growth rate.
Mr. Secretary, I accept that, and I accept the best wishes of the president, but we're not hearing any specifics coming from the president. In fact, this president is catching a lot of flack for not coming forward to satisfy the concerns of consumers and Americans.
Well, Brian, I just don't share that belief. I mean, I've already talked about a couple of very important initiatives that the president has sent to Congress. They have yet to pass, like National Energy Plan, like Trade Promotion Authority. Are there other steps that will be considered in the months ahead? Sure there are. But there are also initiatives that he sent to the Congress that they haven't approved yet.
How long can he cling to the hope that the tax cut will have the desired effect?
Well, Brian, look, you continue to watch these numbers in the months ahead, and, and I will say this about the tax cut. It's not just a rebate now, but it's setting up lower marginal rates for the future. Leadership is all about creating the right kind of environment for the workers and entrepreneurs of this country to do what they do so well, which is create wealth, and part of that is bringing down marginal tax rates.
Well, we'll hope for the best. Secretary Don Evans, I thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian. You bet.
All righty. Let's get our first check of the weather. For that, we're going out to Los Angeles and Mark McEwen. Mark, good morning.
Good morning to you, Brian. We'll have Julio Iglesias coming up and also Heather Graham this morning from Los Angeles. Let's show you what's going on around the country. 70s for L.A. today, not too bad. Look at that, all the sun all through most of the country. Let's go out to the trouble spot, which is in the northeast, coastal New England. Nice day, but Hurricane Aaron, what's left of it, will keep the seas a little choppy, 8 to 12-foot swell. Surfers beware. That's a quick look at the national forecast. Here's an early look at your weather.
Big difference in temperatures. For the rest of your Tuesday, it'll be sunny, dry, and seasonable with high temperatures from 77 to 82 degrees with a light northerly breeze.
Of all the girls I've loved before, Julio coming up a little bit later.
Willie Nelson. When we come back, paying to play in high school. And a check of our market watch report, too. Back after this. Certainly not unique. Mid cutbacks, more and more schools across the country are requiring student athletes to pay before they play. 7:20, let's check our Market Watch report. Here's Susan McGinnis. Susan Mack, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Brian. Well, we can look forward to the opening bell today, believe it or not, at least so far, following a rough Monday. When all was said and done, though, stocks ended pretty much where they started. The Dow lost only a fraction, while the NASDAQ index was up just about 8 points. The latest from Wall Street, though, a lawsuit. Federal authorities filed suit against Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, accusing it of discriminating against as many as 100 women by preventing them from getting promotions and raises. Morgan Stanley denies the allegations. Reports say Amazon.com and Target are going to partner up to jointly sell products on the internet, and Blockbuster is taking a $450 million charge to make the big switch from videotapes to DVDs. It says it wants to speed up the changeover because DVDs are more profitable. Meanwhile, Disney reportedly says it will oppose a combination of AOL Time Warner and AT&T's cable TV business unless the new company sells its content holdings, including the Warner Brothers movie studio and cable channels, including CNN and TBS. Regulators decide tomorrow whether to approve Eli Lilly's new potential blockbuster drug, Zegras. Find out more about that on our website, cbs.marketwatch.com. Back now to Brian and Jane.
All right, Susan.
D.C. police are still waiting for commitments from other cities to join the security force for the upcoming IMF World Bank protests. So far, only Prince George's County and Columbus, Ohio are promising to send officers. D.C. was hoping for big help from Philadelphia and New York City, but both cities seem to be backing off, citing overtime issues. For the latest news, sports, and weather and traffic when you need it most, log on to our website. It's WUSATV9.com.
7 o'clock hour. Clear skies today. The front that moved through dropped a little bit of rain, as much as 1/4 of an inch in some places. Some folks didn't see any at all. Showers now down in Carolina. Off the coast, of course, this is Hurricane Erin. Not a threat to us, but it sure will be kicking up the surf for a couple of days. Getting up to 81 degrees and sunny. We will have more later.
Watch Gordon Peterson and Gravir Dinza weeknights at 6 and 11.
November 29, 1999. Helms-Biden becomes law, promising the UN America's overdue bills will be paid if the UN makes changes. It does that and more, even naming an inspector general to cut waste. But we don't pay. Then the Senate votes to pay the bill, and the House too. Now, 2 years after Helms-Biden, congressional gridlock still stops payment. Before President Bush makes his first speech at the UN, Congress should honor our commitment and pay the UN bill. Great nations keep their word.
Back now, 7:30 on a Tuesday morning, and if, yes, you say the city looks clean right now, well, it really does, because we got a huge drenching yesterday. Man, did it come down. Wow.
It came down, and the lightning show that came with it.
It was pretty furious. Kind of stopped Roger Clemens from getting his 20th up at the stadium in the Bronx last night, but it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Coming up this morning on the early show in this half hour, we'll take a look.
They're already addicted.
No.
Don't miss the show that takes Survivor off the island and onto the road.
I'm not going to quit.
The Amazing Race, an all-new episode, CBS Wednesday.
Welcome back to the early show on this Tuesday morning at 7:41. Now we're going to head back to Los Angeles for a check of the weather and a Latin Grammys update from Mark McEwen again. Hi, Mark.
You got it. Hola, hola, Jane. Latin Grammys will be tonight. We'll talk about Julio Iglesias in just a Julio Iglesias, I tell you, we talked a little bit about all the girls that I loved before. He will not be performing tonight. He's got another concert that he's going to be heading off to. But tonight you will see Mark Anthony on stage. Santana Juanes, who was here yesterday and tore the place up, will be playing tonight as well. And don't forget, the Latin Grammys will be on CBS tonight. You can see them tonight at 9 o'clock here on CBS. Jane?
Mark, has the Grammys changed its approach to the broadcast at all because of the Cuban dispute in Florida?
Yes. Yes, it has. There will be no arrival line tonight, and that is entirely different. You normally have a red carpet where you get the people as they come in. No red carpet, no arrivals, which is odd because I've never been to an award show where there is no red carpet. We'll just go on in. The show will start. We'll get the interviews backstage, but nobody coming in down the red carpet.
Red carpet's half the fun, huh?
That's it.
All right, Mark, thanks. 7:45. Health Watch is next with Dr. Emily Sine. We're back after this.
Could not have prevented this accident. A new crackdown on illegal parking in the district is about to begin. You better feed the meter. The plan calls for hiring new ticket writers and increasing enforcement. The district says the goal is to build a force of more than 200 meter monitors during the next fiscal year. Critics of the plan say it's just another move to collect more money. The city says that's not so. You can always be in touch. Our web address is WUSATV9.com. I'm afraid to ask, how's traffic? Here's Monica.
Not doing so well. We'll go to the Beltway south side of town on the inner loop. If you're planning to head there, you've got slow traffic through Oxon Hill to the Wilson Bridge. On the outer loop, it's Telegraph. We'll go to 66 now on the inbound side, which you've got some slow traffic into the Sunshine, trying to get to the Beltway through Vienna and over to Montgomery County and the American Legion Bridge. On the inner loop, slow traffic Georgetown Pike up to Carderock. We'll go to Hillary now with the weather.